Installing a wooden floor in the bathroom, that remains a risk. But luckily, there is a customized type of laminate that you can use perfectly in the bathroom. And the wood structure will indeed immediately make the space a lot cozier.
In the previous episodes, we already built our walls. The necessary provisions came in the construction in metal struts and wood. Afterwards, the whole was reinforced with OSB plates. As a result, we got sturdy walls. To continue working on this were construction panels placed, cement bonded in the wet zone and green plasterboard in the remainder of the bathroom. In the wet zone, we brought more. A highly flexible seal is installed on the walls. A piece of floor and wall has been supplied with tiles, and we have placed them, with a very special leveling system in place. In the meantime, the bath was installed and the floor has also been grouted. Now it's time to cover the rest of the floor.
We have already done some work in the bathroom previously, so the subfloor OSB is indeed already dirty. Just clean it up, check the flatness, and remove all major irregularities with a chisel.
Remove the leftover pieces of chips and other irregularities with a chisel. Sweep everything up and finally vacuum. Once again, the entire floor remains silent. Then check again if your floor is flat enough. We laid the floor in advance in the room where it needs to be, so he can adjust to the humidity and temperature. Here we choose laminate that is suitable to place in the bathroom. This one has received a special coating, making it resistant to water. If you do splash water on this floor, it's absolutely no disaster. The core has also been treated so that the floor does not swell when it gets wet.
You always lay laminate floating, which means you do not glue it to the substrate. You always put it on a substrate. One reason for that sublayer is that it helps to dampen the walking sound.
We use a thick but sturdy underlay here. The underlay is quickly installed. Unroll tape to size. Trim your floor with a utility knife. Make cutouts around an obstacle where necessary. Make sure the second track does not overlap the first. Your floor will level nicely soon. Join parts together. Pair each other with the supplied tape. We make another recess here. First cut your track to size and then measure your recess. With a slat or ruler, you can then cut the underlay to size. With the underlay now in place, we are first going to accurately calculate the laying pattern. Here, the floor comes parallel to the raised platform. First, initially determine the width of your space. Subtract the expansion joint from both sides, so cut off 2x8 mini. Then divide that size by your board width. According to the pack, it's 19 centimeters with us. Knowing the number after the comma, we indeed fear that we will not come out well. So, we count 11 full boards and do the rest of the number. Multiply back width of a plank. Then we're going to divide that size by 2, so we know what size we are. The 2 outer rows in this particular scenario will indeed have to be carefully established. Carefully indicate your saw line on the boards with a pencil. Then, accurately trim them to the desired size. That's simplest with your jigsaw indeed. The saw cut goes under the skirting boards, so shouldn't we pay attention to the finish here? Always start your very first row on the left side and carefully click the panels together first. Ensure you work straight and precisely. Then slide the row into place. Along the sides, you place calibration blocks to guarantee the expansion joint of 8 mm. You can go first in row 2. Click together, ensuring a secure fit, and then securely attach to the first row, making sure it aligns perfectly. Use the leftover piece from the previous row to begin the next one. And so on your journey, steadfastly, you continue to persevere. Always take boards from different ones, packages to vary enough. With 2, you can place them quicker.
To minimize material loss, you start a new row with the leftover piece from the previous row, unless that leftover piece is much too small. The risk then exists is that there is a fixed pattern of offset between the end joints, or that the distance between the different end joints is too small. It's not beautiful or sturdy. What you can do to break that pattern is not to use the leftover piece from the previous row for the next row, but for the row after that. Whether you start this row with a full or a 3/4 board, depending on what emerges nicely in that row or situation.
You always first click the boards together along the short side. Then you click it in gently along the long side. Tap by hand if necessary. Place the board in its place so that the joint closes well. Where needed, shorten. Of course, you can do this with a handsaw, but who has one? Get help quicker with a miter saw.
With this click system, I find it easy to sit on the laminate itself and click them in backward. And behind him, I've also laid out several laminate packs. Then I always take a board from a different pack for a nice change of the decors.
We have to slightly shorten the last row here once again. Click the row together and carefully align it with your penultimate row. Verify that the rows precisely are nicely aligned. With a leftover piece of laminate that you place against the wall, you can now start drawing where you need to cut the planks. The old wall isn't justified, so we've the perfect size. Then cut this row to size with your jigsaw. Where necessary, we also make recess for our pipes. The last row can now be put in place. Because you have less room to move, you will. The boards may be harder to click into place. Therefore, use a hit iron to hook behind the row and hammer it, to tap the boards into place. Now that the laminate floor is in place, we can tile the raised edge of the elevated platform. Do protect your floor so you don't spill any counterglue on your new floor. Apply sufficient glue to the wall. Also possibly apply some glue already, on the very first tile we have. Place your angle profile in the glue. It'll be the head side of your tile. Hide and enhance the visual appeal and deliver a beautiful finish, while also ensuring to provide a seamless and aesthetically pleasing outcome. Using the first tile and some grout crosses, you can profile and... Now put the tile in its place. Then you can tile the rest of your edge. Always make sure that you also foresee a joint at the bottom of the tiles. Utilizing some calibration blocks, we work again twixt tiles, the leveling system, to ensure we are working flat. Finally, we remove the excess glue. From the very seams and from the intricately designed tiles, we carefully observe. After the necessary drying time, we can also grout this. With the ready-made glue and a grout rubber, this is quickly done. We're now still using Mosin band, the visible intersection between the floor and the wall. Soon we are going to caulk that seam, so the floor is also on the edge resistant to water. We attach skirting boards to the walls without tiles. First measure and mark how long they should be and shorten them with the miter saw. Do this in miter where necessary for a nice finish. Once customized, attach the skirting boards to the wall using a polymer kit. Now that the tile grout is dry, we can start with the finishing. We start with the most urgent, the toilet.
We install the toilet paper holder first. Check the manual to see exactly how to place it. If that's the case, you can always opt for accessories that you can stick. We install the toilet paper holder first. Check the manual to see exactly how to place it.
The holder itself is actually equipped with double-sided tape, so it stays in place immediately. Place it at a convenient height. Then you can glue it permanently. Apply glue into the opening until it exits the other side. This shows the cavity behind the holder is fully filled. Once glue dries, then you should mount the roll holder yourself. It has a bolt at the bottom that you really need to tighten securely. The Allen key you indeed need for that is provided. You can also handle heavier things, attached to the tiles in the same way. Choose a good place for your brush holder and apply the self-adhesive holder. Then, apply the adhesive in it. The holder gets stuck in place permanently. When the glue is dry, you can mount the glass and put the toilet brush in it. So the floor's done, and we can start finishing touches, like connecting faucets and installing the shower wall.
We are one step further in creating our luxurious bathroom. Next time, we will continue. And do you want to re-watch one of these episodes of the series in the meantime? Then you can visit our website, dobbitb. Through our website, you can also subscribe to our online magazine.
Looking forward to seeing you in my next DIY project. Until then.